is enough said.
What's up, Heat Nation? Your boy Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video number 2 of the day. So go ahead and show your appreciation by liking the video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, you guys. Really appreciate everyone's support. Now together, you know we rocking and rolling on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. The reason why I'm posting a second video today, you guys, I do feel that the video earlier today was on the negative, pessimistic side. And you know, here in Miami Heat Talk, we always try to look at things with a glass half full. So that's what I want to do in this video. Now, just to piggyback a little bit from the previous video, as we all know, Caleb Martin left the Miami Heat for the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't think it was shocking that Caleb Martin did not choose to re-sign with Miami. I think why Heat fans are mixed of shock, upset, confused is because of the amount of money that he took. It's reported that Caleb Martin is signing a 4-year contract worth anywhere from $32 to $40 million. That's anywhere from $8 to $10 million per season. But it was reported that during the season, the Miami Heat did offer Caleb Martin a 5-year contract extension worth about $65 million. All Caleb had to do was opt in to his $7.1 million contract, his player option, and then Miami would have attached a 4-year extension worth $58 million. That's rounding out to about $13 million per season. And the fact that Florida has no state income taxes as well poses the question, what happened? You know, did Caleb Martin's agent drop the ball? You know, maybe the Miami Heat offered that during the mid-season. You know, Caleb declined it. Caleb's agent thought that Caleb could have gotten more. You know, it's been a week since free agency started, and we haven't really heard anything about Caleb Martin going anywhere else. He probably wasn't really getting the money that he was looking at. Maybe it was a mix of something else. Maybe Caleb Martin wasn't happy with his role with the Heat. He lost his starting job to Nikola Jovic. Maybe that played into a factor because it was reported that Caleb Martin was promised a starting role with Philadelphia. I don't know. I don't know what the hell happened. Time will tell. Maybe it's a mixture of all those things. I don't know. But at the end of the day, Heat fans, let's not focus on something we can't control. Let's focus on something that we can control, you know, and that's trying to stay positive with this current roster, because with Caleb Martin gone, that's a hole. You know, Caleb Martin is one of the best wing defenders we had on this team. You know, when you looked at this roster, you looked at 3 guys as premier wing defenders: Jimmy Butler, Caleb Martin, and Haywood Highsmith. Caleb's gone. You know, there's no real news with Haywood Highsmith. I think Miami can still obtain Haywood Highsmith. I think that is the goal. I've mentioned that in the past. It's more than likely that Haywood Highsmith comes back, fills that role coming off the bench as the elite premier defender. So that's most likely what can happen. There's no reports of Haywood going anywhere else now, so the Heat can offer him a nice little contract. Let's see what happens there. But something else I do want to talk about, you guys, where I want to get more toward the positive side. Because Miami Heat fans, I'm sure, are upset. When you look at this offseason, you've lost Caleb Martin. You know, you've lost DeLon Wright. You've re-signed Kevin Love. You know, there hasn't really been... You've signed Alec Burks. You know, that was a nice signing. But no real huge changes have been done. It was reported today by Chris Haynes. And for those of you that don't know Chris Haynes, he's one of the biggest NBA investigators, one of the biggest NBA journalists. If he reports something, it's facts. Chris Haynes reported today that the Miami Heat are trying to obtain DeMar DeRozan via sign and trade. The Miami Heat and DeMar DeRozan's agent have been in recent contact. Both sides do have mutual interest. Now, we've talked about some of this before. We've talked about the possibility of the Miami Heat doing a sign and trade with Chicago, sending Caleb to Chicago, giving him the money that he wants, getting DeMar DeRozan here. We know that's not the case anymore. But if Chris Haynes is reporting that the Miami Heat are trying to obtain DeMar DeRozan via sign and trade, you can bet for sure that that's what the Miami Heat are looking to do. Because I think right now the way the Miami Heat are looking at it are one of two things. One, which was reported, the Heat like their roster. They think their roster is good enough. Yeah, they lost Caleb Martin, but Jaime Jaquez fills that role. Nikola Jovic is stepping up. You just drafted Khalil Ware. You drafted Pell Larson. You just signed Alec Burke. You can make this work. With a determined Jimmy Butler planning to play more during the regular season and having Jaime Jaquez, and potentially re-signing Haywood Highsmith, I think that's good enough. But trading for DeMar DeRozan puts you in a different stratosphere offensively. We know last year DeMar DeRozan played 79 games, averaged about 24 points a game. He's not known for his three-point shooter. That's a little bit of a bummer with Jimmy Butler and Bam in the lineup. But look, DeMar DeRozan is a bucket getter. And one thing we've seen from DeMar DeRozan, he plays games. We know that this Miami Heat team are going all in 2025, you guys. I really feel like that this is the final year of the Jimmy Butler build for this Miami Heat team. If this Miami Heat team wins a championship in 2025, I mean, a lot of people may think that that's, far-fetched, but it is a possibility if they are fully healthy. If Jimmy leads the Heat to another amazing playoff run and gets a championship, then yeah, you can push this Jimmy Butler build. But then you're giving a guy an extension into his 36th and 37th year. Maybe that's not the best answer. I would love Jimmy Butler to retire in Miami Heat. I don't want Jimmy Butler to leave this team. But we need to understand that reality is reality. And if this Miami Heat team cannot win a championship in 2025, then Jimmy Butler may opt out of his player option, go somewhere else. You get that money off your books. You get yourself in order. You get your finances in order. Take a year or two, get yourself in order. And that way you can build around Bam. Get that superstar. In a few years, you have a wide loaded free agency class coming up really soon. Maybe the Miami Heat can strike one of those years. All I know is this. We can't focus on the future. We can only focus on the present. What can we focus on the present? You have this roster. You have this roster led by Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Terry Rozier. 4 guys that have proven that they can average 20 points a game in the regular season. 4 guys that are going to get a full training camp together. Terry Rozier and Jimmy Butler are already working out together in the gym. That's a positive sign. You get Tyler Hero, who's coming back with a chip on his shoulder. If he accepts his 6-man role, which I think is perfect coming off the bench, he could be that guy. Play anywhere from 70, 75 games, reboost his value. I think this Miami Heat team you guys currently constructed can make some noise in the East. But you're trading for a guy like DeMar DeRozan because he gives a lot more quality. You've seen what he's given to the Chicago Bulls in the last couple of years. Yeah, the Bulls haven't been a contender, so can he do that here? But if you trade for a DeMar DeRozan, then you're trying to make a push this year. Even though I think it's not a really huge difference. If you're doing a sign-and trade for DeMar DeRozan, the Heat are a first apron team. They're $7 million under the second apron, so they have a little bit of flexibility. So to do a sign-and trade for DeMar DeRozan, you're going to have to give up a player who's making a good amount of money. Terry Rozier, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero maybe. That's a possibility. So are you willing to move one of those players to bring DeMar DeRozan on this team? Another way that Heat fans can look at it, you trade a Tyler Hero who has 3 more years left in his contract. You do a sign and trade for DeMar DeRozan. Tyler Hero these last 5 years has not proven to been the most dependable person on this roster. Yes, he's making a favorable contract in 3 years, but it's like I mentioned earlier. If you trade Tyler Hero for a DeMar DeRozan, you're going all in for 2025. Worst case scenario, the Heat do not win. They don't go far in 2025. You get Jimmy Butler and DeMar DeRozan off your books, and now you can build around Bam, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Nikola Jovic, and Khalil Ware, and wait for that next star to become available. So I want to hear from you, Heat fans. With this report from Chris Haynes that the Miami Heat is still going after DeMar DeRozan, would you be willing to get DeMar DeRozan, and who would you be willing to trade that you think would be flexible? Is it Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Terry Rozier? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Don't forget to like the video and do not forget to subscribe to the channel as we push for 5,000 subscribers. I know today didn't seem the best, Heat fans, but remember, it's not over. We still got some time. And I know Pat Riley and the boys be cooking. So let me know in the comments what you think, you guys. Stay positive, and until next time, your boy Ernest out. That's enough said. Yeah, buddy.